Oh, baby, get wrecked. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel and another Infinite Warfare video. This one is going to be dedicated to the score streaks. Now that it's been released, I've got a little taste of each score streak. I'm going to show you guys from a gameplay perspective what each of these has the power to do. So let's dive in and look at some of the new score streaks and some of the ones that are similar from Black Ops 3. If you haven't played Infinite Warfare yet, there are 14 total score streaks. Some of them are very similar to the past Call of Duties, and some of them bring a new taste to the game. Now, I think they did a very, very good job at balancing the score streaks, only putting in score streaks that are useful, and kind of removing some of the garbage score streaks that no one ever used, just to really refine the score streak in general. So let's take a look at each one of these individually. I'm not going to show you gameplay of all of them. Some of them I'm just going to show you quick clips because they are very, very similar to past games. So let's start off. We have the UAV and we have the counter UAV. Now, the only difference between these two is how the counter UAV goes around the map. So the UAV is very, very similar. As you can see, it is just circling the map like the old UAVs used to. The only difference is the counter UAV. Now, the counter UAV, as you can see in the same clip, is circling with the UAV. Now, it used to kind of float through the middle of the map, kind of hover at a lower level, but now these score streaks also circle the map in a very similar fashion as the UAV. Next on our list is the Scarab and the drone package. Now, these are very similar to past Call of Duties as well. Obviously, the drone package being the standard care package that only comes in a new fashion. And the Scarab, although it has a different control feel, it is basically your RC car or your HCXD. So as you can see in this video, the drone is dropping off this package, and when I use the Scarab, it kind of has a little bit more maneuverability than the RC car does. It's got a very good boost capability that has lots of control that you can get into windows very effectively, and your up and down movement, your jump movement with the Scarab is very good as well. So that is the next in the list of score streaks. Next on the list is the new Talon. It's called the Vulture in this game, and it's a little different as it provides two modes of operation. One operates very much like the Talon did, gives you some cover fire, not as good as the Talon was. The Talon at times may have been overpowered, so maybe that's why they dumbed it down a little bit on its effectiveness, but the other option is to hold X and you get a radar. It's a little ping on your mini-map that will show you nearby enemies and where they are on the map. This could be good if you are close to a bigger score streak, or if you're entering a room to capture an objective, you can see where enemies are sitting in that room as you enter. So it could be a very, very effective score streak in situations. We will have to see as we continue to play with all of the score streaks. This next score streak doesn't require a whole lot of explanation, as it is essentially your Hellstorm missile. It has two initial shots that can be fired, and then you can finish a third enemy off by boosting the missile into the ground. I have it from my perspective, but it's very similar to the Hellstorm when you are flying. These next two score streaks, the Scorchers and the Bombardment, are very similar to past score streaks as well. Your Scorchers are essentially your rolling thunder, except more precise, more narrow. It doesn't cover the whole map, but it's fast and accurate. So as you can see, these things come across storming with lasers and just wipe out anything in that line. Very good for wiping out objectives and other things because you don't have to wait for the rolling thunder to come across the entire map. The Bombardment is very similar as well to your designated strike. You can pick 3 spots on the map, and these laser missiles come down from satellites, I guess, in the sky and absolutely devastate your enemies. So these two strikes are very, very effective and a very welcome sight from previous games. The next score streak, the Shock Sentry, is essentially your sentry gun. And without further ado, I'm just going to let you guys watch this clip because that's all I need to say. Oh, fuck, that thing cares.
Assist your team at sea. Friendly Scarab.
Oh!
Friendly drone support is active.
Yeah, baby. Go to work, baby. Oh my goodness. This thing's not even fair. So yeah, the sentry's pretty freaking good, and I think I'm going to use it in more matches. But moving on to the Warden, the next score streak is much like the Wraith from Black Ops 3. They've changed a few things, like the time span of it is much shorter, which I think was a necessary change because Wraiths just dominated objective games, and it was very hard to turn the tides when someone got a Wraith. This one is still very effective. It's very good at taking out enemies, but it's a much shorter time span, and they did something interesting by lowering the altitude of the craft, so it hides behind buildings very effectively for its size even. So I think it's a very good score streak. A lot of people are using it right now, and it can be very effective in objective games. This next score streak is actually very interesting. It's brings back some vibes of like the AC-130. You're getting some oversight over the map, and you can devastate your enemies with these guided missiles. So as you shoot these missiles, you can steer them into the ground, angle them at enemies that are on, you know, hiding behind buildings, and it's just a very effective score streak. Definitely rains havoc all over the map, and I think it is definitely one you want to consider if you are going for those objective wins. It's very good at wiping enemies out of all objectives all across the map. These last two score streaks are the powerhouses of the game. That is why they are put at the end with the highest point potential. I personally think the points could be a little higher, as sometimes these seem pretty easy to get compared to your 1700 point mothership back in Black Ops 3, but let's take a look at the RC8 and the AP3X and how they perform in game. So this RC8 is basically just a walking mech of destruction, equipped with 2 shields and an absolute destructive cannon in his right hand. So basically you have the ability to fire the cannon with your right trigger, shield bash, and you can also guard using your shields to absorb tremendous amounts of damage. That being said, this is what makes it a little better for shield damage absorption than the next score streak we're going to talk about, but the next score streak has its own perks as well. So as you can see, people are just approaching this RC8 unsure of what the hell is going on, and it is absolutely destroying everybody. It does fit through all the doors, as you can see, so there is no real limitations to where this score streak can go. I took it up the stairs, I took it through small doorways, big doorways. I think even here I may even jump off, which no, I decided not to. Didn't want to risk losing the score streak after I got it. But as you can see, it is just tearing the enemies apart. And as you can see, the AP3X is absolutely a speed demon. It has machine guns, it has missile barrage, it has your boost, so you can absolutely turn corners on a dime, accelerate to massive amounts of speed, and just get around the map in an instant. This is what it has over the RC8. Now, I don't know the damage potential. It might be a little weaker, obviously, than the RC8. I think the RC8 has the damage resistance over this one, but this one just has absolute speed, and I think it's why it's the best score streak in the game. So the RC8 with the shield might be able to withstand more missiles, but this thing here with its speed definitely takes the cake. So there it is, guys. That's all the score streaks for Infinite Warfare. The only one I left out, obviously, is your advanced UAV. It is very similar. Almost, it's actually the exact same as your VSAT and the other methods that Black Ops 3 used for this score streak. It's exactly the same. So I didn't put any gameplay in on that one. Didn't think you guys needed it, but shows you your detailed radar, where enemies are looking, and that's basically the extent of that score streak. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, definitely drop a thumbs up. It really helps me. The channel's growing tremendously. We hit 300 subscribers today, so hopefully we can keep that growing. And I am on Twitch now almost every day, so if you guys want to check out that schedule, it usually starts about 8 p.m. Definitely do that. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe for more content like this. I know a lot of YouTubers are bringing the same content out, but I want to bring you guys the best version of it. So I hope you guys liked it. Drop a thumbs up once again, and as always, guys, stay on the bean. You do you, live life your way, because that's the way it's meant to be. Here's your beauties. Absolutely love it. So we finally hit 55, and I wanted to take you guys with me as we enter the first prestige. Let's take a look and see what happens.